I'm grateful for you to be here today. So, how do you see the world? Because how you see the world is how you experience it. It's through your imagination, because your world reflects your imagination. Whatever you want to see, consciously or unconsciously, you can see it if you can imagine it. If you cannot imagine it, you're not going to see it. So many people talk about they want to be wealthy, but they can't imagine what it's like to be wealthy. May imagine part of it. So they may imagine, oh, I've got a lot of money. I can go out and buy things. But they don't imagine the other part about having money, being a good steward of your money, investing your money. You see, there's a whole spectrum around the idea of abundance. It's just not having money. Money and abundance is an attitude. And in order to get that attitude, you got to be able to imagine it from all aspects. Because you'll notice that someone can win the lottery and it's gone. Year, 2, 3 years later, they're broke. They didn't imagine the whole thing. What are you imagining for your life? Because it's reflecting in your life. It may not be totally there, but it's starting to show itself. Everything that you can imagine, that you have a perception on, that you have a belief on, is reflecting back to you. And you may say, well, Lee, I didn't consciously choose that. Well, you're absolutely right. Sometimes it's unconscious. Sometimes we've had beliefs and things that we imagined that were unconsciously implanted in our brains by our mother, our father. It could be by a friend. It could be by a spiritual leader. It could be by a boss. It could be a teacher in school. It could be anywhere. It's implanted in. And once it's there, once we get that notion, we may stop imagining. What about, here's one. When I was in 5th grade, I was trying out to be in the choir at Sacred Heart Elementary. And the nun who was doing the testing said, Lee, it's best you don't sing. You have the inability to carry a tune. I love singing. That broke my heart. And it wasn't until later on in life that I realized I wasn't singing to meet someone else's standards. I was singing for my own joy. And so I said, forget them. When I go to a concert, like just went to Bruce Springsteen a few months back, I sang every song and I sang it at the top of my lungs. I let go of what was implanted in me and I implanted a new thing. I imagined Lee singing and having a great time. What stops us the most, stops our ability to imagine, stops our ability to create, stops our ability to have what we want reflected in our life, is the fact that we don't believe we're worthy. And we look outside of ourselves for approval. Stop that right now. You don't need anyone's approval because only you know what's right for your unique expression of life. You were born unique. You are unique. Stop giving that away. Stop giving that away. So let me ask this question again. How do you see the world? Do you see it like your mom? Well, that means you've got her beliefs. Do you see it like your dad? You've got his beliefs. Do you see it like your mom and dad? You've got their beliefs. Do you see it like a Republican? Well, you have a Republican's beliefs. Do you see it like a Democrat? You have a Democrat beliefs. I find it very difficult that any human being believes everything in totality of what someone else does. It's impossible. It's not going to be authentic because we're all different. We're all unique. So we're all going to have different beliefs. So stop trying to fit in. Let your world reflect your creativity. Let it reflect your imagination. Let it reflect your joy. Let it reflect your passion. Let it reflect your uniqueness, because at the end of the day, that's all you've got is your uniqueness, because It's who you are. You may not have embraced it yet. You may not have discovered it yet, but that's the journey of life, to discover your uniqueness, to live it, and to expand on it. Man, what a day we've got ahead of us. We've got a challenge to be our unique self and to see the world through the eyes of love as we love. Nothing better in the world, my friends. Make this your best day.